For 30 years, the striker had one job: stand in the box, score goals, everything else, someone else's problem. Then Guardiola came along and decided the striker should also be a midfielder. Then Klopp decided the striker should also be a defender. Now Haaland has arrived and scored 16 goals in 8 games, and everyone is asking the same question. Was the classic number 9 dead, or just waiting? Welcome back to FUT in Review World Cup Daily episode number 7. I am joined today by the man, the myth, the legend, Artyom, all the way from Poland, and my good friend John there in sunny Perth, or is it sunny Perth? We'll find out very soon. Just a very quick thing to our Patreon supporters. This show will be in your feed very soon, almost as soon as we finish. Remember, the Prediction League is live, so get on. If you want to join your Patreon, check us out at patreon.com/FUT in Review. And why wouldn't you? It's absolutely amazing, especially the World Cup just around the corner. And we'll have the sweep. John and I will be joining that very soon. So if you're thinking of joining, come on, join the Discord. You'll absolutely love it. Today we're going in deep on the striker, the number 9, the most iconic shirt in football, the most debated position in the modern game. Has the classic centre-forward died? Or is Haaland proving it was never dead at all? And which system wins the World Cup? We are going to settle that for you tonight. So let's go. Artyom, how you doing, my friend? I've not spoken to you in ages.
That's right. Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be back, guys. So I hope all will enjoy this show about the strikers. I'm all right. I'm okay. I'm doing great. And I hope you guys do well too.
We're doing very well. Just very quickly, are you the classic number 9 man, or do you like this new role that the striker has?
You know what I have? I actually, before we choose the topic for this show, I actually had my thoughts about it, and I think it's that's my opinion. And like in every other sports, the football is evolving, right? So I'm looking even as I'm coaching my youngsters in basketball, I'm expecting those youngsters also to do basically everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're mixing positions right now. It's not like it used to be 20 years ago that we have a striker, we had a center back, left back, wherever, and they were sticking to one position. Right now, the football is evolving, tactics are evolving. We're expecting those players to do basically everything on a pitch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that the striker is supposed to know how to goal keep, not that far, but still, they should know how to create situations, how to be a playmaker, how to pass, how to score, how to win headers, and also how to defend, right?
Yeah.
It's not about the exact role of false 9 or target forward, whatever dying. We adapt to what players we have in a team. We create tactics. If we have a world-class striker, we just prepare the tactics for them. And we also expect those players to do much more than we used to expect from them like a couple of years ago.
Yeah. So there you are, folks. Artyom, I think, is not the classic number 9. But let's go to the other Scot on the show. John, are you the classic number 9, or are you very quickly into this sort of change in position?
I love the classic number 9. Personally, I grew up in it, showing my age here. But see, right now, hurts me to say it, Harry Kane, what a footballer. So, as Art says, it's evolving. I still love watching an old number 9, though.
Yeah. Well, let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. We'll try and get through these topics as quickly as possible because there's a lot to cover. So we are going to start with that classic number 9. Let's start at the beginning. For most football history, the striker had one job: score goals. Alan Shearer, Batistuta, Didier, Drogba. They were forces of nature. They lived in the penalty area. They came alive there. They didn't track back. They didn't link play. They didn't create for others. They were weapons. Pointed at the goal and fired. The centre-back's nightmare was simple and physical. Mark him, compete with him, don't let him turn. Everything was binary. The striker scores, the team wins. The striker doesn't score, the team loses. The era produced some of the most iconic moments in football history. Batistuta scoring a hat-trick in the World Cup. Drogba winning the Champions League final. Shearer at Euro 96. Yes, it pains me to say that, but he was absolutely marvellous. But football was all about the change completely. So for you, Artyom, who is the classic number 9 for you? I mean, I could maybe guess, you being Polish, but you tell us, Who is the classic number 9 to you?
This is not going to be a surprise that I'm going to go for Leva right over here. And you know what? And the classic 9 role for him works perfectly when he plays like in Barcelona. But I'm so upset when he's doing the same stuff like in a national Poland team. Mm-hmm. The reason why, because he's not surrounded by the same class of players like in our national team. So when he drops back, we're just missing that one player in front. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely I'm going to go with Leva. I think his whole career proves that he's like perfect false 9 on classic 9.
And from your point of view, Art, and unfortunately Poland didn't make it to World Cup. I'll say that very quickly so not to upset you.
Thank you for bringing it up and reminding me that.
I do apologise, my friend. But is the next Leva for Poland round the corner, or are you missing that player at the moment?
We are actually. You know what? We are missing from a couple of years because Leva is. I mean, no offense to him, of course, but he's getting old. He doesn't have that physical that he had before. So we already missing like player because whenever he plays 70, 80 minutes, we don't have a substitute for him. Mm-hmm. So our strength right now, we are covering his position by our wingers. Yeah. So yeah, you know what? They are like substitute, and this is how we adapt without missing the striker.
Mm-hmm. John, who is your classic number 9?
From a Scottish perspective, I grew up watching Alan McCoist. I just think he was something else in the box. Absolutely phenomenal. Slight curveball, showing my age here. We used to have a thing called cable TV back in the day, and there used to be a European football highlights programme, and I could watch R9 at the start of his career at PSV, and that was something else to see on the telly. It was like, what is this?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, I think R9 is that. You know, let's be honest. This is an FC podcast, and we're doing World Cup as well. But R9 holds a special place for all of us. And I will ask you a question that may involve R9 near the end of the show. So for us, the classic number 9, you've heard it here. Leva for Art, and Super Ali and R9 for John. But our next part though is the Guardiola Revolution and the false 9. You know, Pep arrived at Barcelona and asked a radical question. What if the striker was not in the box, but in midfield? What if instead of playing Messi as a winger, he played him as a centre forward who dropped deep, collected the ball, pulled defenders out of positions, let the full-backs and wingers run into space he created? Defenders face an impossible choice. Track Messi, leave the box empty, or hold position and let him receive the ball with time. There was no good answer. Barcelona were unstoppable. Robert Firmino at Liverpool took the concept even further. Firmino barely scored in the standards of his position at the moment, but he pressed, he ran, he linked, he created space. Liverpool won everything, not because Firmino scored 30 goals, but because his movement made Salah and Mane better. The false 9 was no longer just about the player, it was about the system. So let me ask you guys, for you, let's go you first, John. Is a striker who creates more viable than the one who scores?
I wouldn't say more viable. I think he just says something different. And I think what, as you said in that introduction to the topic, is it creates space for other people. So a bit like St Johnstone last season, our top goal scorer was a winger because the striker presses, the striker drops a little bit deep, and it creates space for the midfield, the number 10, and the winger to score the goals. So I think it depends on that, and it only works, pressing, if you have really good players around. The false 9 in my eyes only works if you've got really good players around them, because if he drops deep and those aren't good enough to cut in and do the damage, then it's a wasted system in my eyes.
Yeah. And from you, as a foot coach and a football coach, do you prefer that sort of false 9, or would you rather have the classic number 9?
Chris, that is a tough question because it's a complex question actually. Because usually the false 9 striker, it's not a typical striker. We take a player who is great dribbler, playmaker, or like Firmino, you said he's like aggressive and can intercept the ball and fight for the team, right? Mm-hmm. But it also depends if you have those wingers or cams who can like substitute the position for the striker when he's dropping back. Mm-hmm. It all depends on the team. Like I know we're gonna go there like to the Haaland in a couple seconds and discuss about his like role in Manchester City, and he's not capable of dropping back. I mean, maybe he is, but it's like this is not the type of striker. So it also depends on what kind of players you have in your team. And the Guardiola, you're talking about bringing back that dropping back false nine role to Barcelona, but remember he had the great players surround.
Yeah.
Iniesta, Xavi, wingers, and everybody knew how to dribble. So the Messi dropping back or whoever played that false nine, he was just bringing those center backs with him. They couldn't let him just go without cover.
Mm-hmm.
That left so much space for Suarez, Neymar, just to take a chance and score a goal.
No, definitely. I mean, you're right. I think it is. You build the team for the players you've got, haven't you? Do you know what I mean? You're not going to ask Haaland to do that sort of Messi role, are you? It just doesn't work. And then when you're talking about Messi, you're talking about one of the greats. Some would say he's the greatest of all times. But then that's another show. I think we could easily get into about who's ever been the best player in the World Cup. But yeah, I agree with you, Art. You know,
but to answer your question quickly, like in let's take Leva. I prefer him as a false nine in Barcelona, but I prefer him as a regular striker in national Poland team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, definitely. I would say, yeah, it really, really just depends on the player, doesn't it? So then the next one, the third one for us, is the pressing forward. Defence starts up front. So the third evolution was the pressing forward. Klopp's Gaggenpressing philosophy demanded that the striker be the first defender, harassing centre-backs with the ball, triggering mistakes, winning possession high up the pitch. The striker who doesn't press is now a liability in the modern high-press system. Even Haaland, who's close to a classic finisher, as you'll find in the elite level, still presses. He might not win possession himself every time, but his pressing angles force defenders into mistakes that teammates exploit. The striker's job description has fundamentally changed. So, guys, I'm asking you, I'll go to you, Art. Is it fair to ask a goal scorer to be a defender? Where would you draw the line?
I love when a striker is starting the press, but when he starts the smart press. I don't want him to just run out of the stamina in 20th minute of the match, just running from one ball to player to another. The smart press, I love it. But also the important thing of the first player to start the press, if the teams join you. Yeah. There is no reason for you to run and try to intercept the ball if everybody's staying behind and doing nothing, right? Mm-hmm. So you're not going to do it against 3-4 players in the back. They can just pass around you. So, I'm a fan of Real, and maybe some people will hate me in a couple seconds. That's why I hate Vini. He doesn't give you anything in defense. Right. He loses the ball, and everybody has to cover it. Mm-hmm. So, he just 15-20 more % of his defending aggressiveness, that would have Real so much, because he's great in attack, but that lack of defending, that's what pisses me off in the player.
Mm-hmm. John, any thoughts on that sort of position? And we've just had a wee dig at Vinny as well. So
no, I think that, like Art says, obviously it's a slightly Scottish bias here, right? I've grown up watching Scotland under Andy Roxburgh, Craig Brown, etc., and it was always we defend from the front. Now, it wasn't the smart press that Art talked about. The striker tended to run, chasing one defender to the next defender to the next defender, and we would say after 60 minutes, what a great holding, what great pressing game. And the guy would come off absolutely shattered after 60, 65 minutes, and the next striker would come on and would do exactly the same. And it wasn't fun to watch because we didn't do it properly. And I'm not a coach, but you could see it. We didn't score lots of goals. Mm-hmm. We still lost games, but I get why you did it. And you're building. You're not a great team, playing a better team, so you defend from the front. As you were talking about in Vinny, and realistically, Real Madrid, they're all a bit gung-ho, but they're so good, they can allow Vinny to not defend because they can cover those gaps. But with Scotland, everybody has to defend back in those days. But for me, I get the basis of it. I don't like it.
Okay, no problem. So interesting comments here, guys. So we'll go on to now the part 4, which is the Haaland paradox. There he is, that beautiful blonde Viking, the long flowing hair. He appears to be a throwback to the classic number 9, But it's actually something entirely new. I mean, he scored 16 goals in 8 qualifying games, double the next highest goal scorer in Europe. He stays central, he runs behind, he finishes with ruthless efficiency, but he does it with a physicality and pace and the finesse of a 21st century athlete. He is an Alan Shearer reborn in a body that can run at 35 kilometres per hour. He is a classic striker who has been upgraded. At Man City, Guardiola, the man who reinvented the striker position with the false nine, has built his entire system around him. You know, Haaland, the traditional finisher. And that tells you everything. Guardiola tried the system without a striker. It worked beautifully. Then he gets a striker and he won a treble. The conclusion? The best system is a great system with a great finisher in it. The false nine is no better than the classic nine. It's a workaround for when you don't have Haaland. So, guys, do you buy that, what I've just said? Is Haaland proof that the classic striker never actually died? John, I'll come to you first.
To an extent, yes. He scores goals. He scores goals for fun because the people around him put the ball in the box for him or put them over the top and he runs on and he bullies people and he puts the ball in the back of the net. So it's about the right player in the right squad at the right time. So not everybody else is using that type of striker because they've not got the team for it. And there are not that many of that type of striker available for teams to play that formation or that type of football anymore. So again, like I said, it's never been gone. People score goals. It's lower leagues, higher leagues. There's always somebody scoring goals. And I think it's just about horses for courses.
Art, would you say the same, that the classic nine has never really died?
Of course it never died. It's just like, it's still, again, complex question, and it all depends on the team that we have. You know what? I was just scrolling a Twitter today, and I had some replay of the game of Manchester City, and the question why Guardiola decided to bring Haaland to Man City. And the reason was the players were just passing around in the box, like making 12 passes, and nobody tried to even shoot. He had great playmakers in the team. Silva, De Bruyne, right, Foden, Mahrez, but not the real striker. So the Haaland and in that Manchester City tactic, it was just a great addition. And Guardiola, of course, the magic of a tactician, he knew what he's doing. He needed that force who was just blind. He would take the ball and just shoot and score.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
But he needed those great passers to give him the ball.
Yeah, because it's noticeable when Haaland first came, he was standing in positions.
Right. Chris, if you go back, just look at the Haaland goals. You said he scored 60, 70, whatever goals, amount of goals he scored. How many goals he scored without the assist?
No, that's true. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Like, I mean, most of the goals are like from the perfect passes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's a great striker in that he's very good at pinning the defender down. So he's great at holding the defender of his physicality. But it was noticeable when he first came to City that they weren't passing to him. He was taking up the position. And as you say, Foden has the ability to cut it back to him, and they were trying to play to score the perfect goal. I think that's where maybe Man City, the team, learned to play for Haaland as opposed to having Haaland in the team and him he became the kind of focal point for there. So, guys, we'll quickly move on to our fifth part, which is the World Cup. It's the ultimate test. You know, here's the tactical argument this World Cup will actually answer. Spain, the tournament favourites, don't have a traditional striker. They build around Yamal, Nico Williams, with their width and movement of attack. Olazabal leads the line, you know, but drops deep. Their system is pure fluid football. And then we go to like the heavy metal rock star of Norway, a genuine dark horse. They're the opposite. They are built entirely around Haaland in the box. Get the ball to him, let him score, repeat. If Spain wins the tournament, the argument for the fluid attacking system, no traditional striker, movement over physicality, is confirmed at the highest possible level. If Norway go deep and Haaland wins the Golden Boot, the argument for the classic finisher is back with force. The World Cup has the power to settle this debate in a way that a club season cannot. 48 nations, 7 knockout games, 1 winner. We'll know more about the future of the striker position on July 19th than we know today. But I'll come to you first. Are you Spain without a striker or Norway with Haaland? Which system do you back and why?
Well, listen, I don't think that Spain has much of choice. I mean, I know that Oyarzabal is a solid player, but he's not a world-class striker. So what they're gonna do? They're gonna build around wingers. They have a great wingers, Yamal and Nico, right? So that's why they take in the false nine approach. Like, you remember the time when they had Raúl, Torres, whatever, Morientes?
Yeah.
They were building around the false nine, but they don't have that option. What option has in Norway? I mean, they're gonna go for Sarlach, Haaland, and just brute force. They are Vikings, so they're gonna do that, right? Which approach I like? I mean, for like just a regular football supporter, and what I prefer to watch, of course, I prefer to watch Spain. Just more like pleasant for my eyes, right? But if it comes, who's gonna win the Golden Boot? I wouldn't be surprised if somebody like from Norway would win it.
Yeah.
Not at all. Haaland is capable of scoring 4 or 5 goals in one game, and I wouldn't be surprised.
No, definitely. John, being a Scot, are you all about fast-flowing football, movement everywhere? Or as I say, is it the heavy metal rock star Norway?
I don't know. I think there's a place for both. And as that says, you build your team around who you've got. So as you said, they don't have a Rual or Morientes anymore. So this pass move works really well. Fantastic wingers with pace, great. Like you said, you're going physicality, you're going brute force up top, and there's a place for that. Because how you'll say to yourself, don't you love a really good cross, a bullet header into the corner of the net? Yes. There's something about that that's missing, and when you see it, you're like, oh, yes. Just like we talked about the older days. So, you know what? If I had to watch a game, and I was a total neutral, I would love a bit of the pass in movement because that's really good to see technical. But also, I love a good bullet header.
Yeah, definitely. And guys, it would be remiss of us not to talk about this, and we will be accused of English bias if we do not mention, from my mind, the complete forward in Harry Kane. I mean, the man has everything. He's a goal scorer. He creates, he links up play. He's the penalty taker. 78 international goals. Who can forget the pass that he played to Diaz when the Bayern Munich played against PSG? Pinpoint accuracy. He's England's all-time top goal scorer. He drops deep, turns, drives. I mean, he is the modern player, the modern template, of the ultimate striker. Art, from your point of view, do you see Harry Kane potentially being the Golden Boot?
I mean, he has one advantage, and it's a huge advantage. His football placement, like he knows exactly by centimeters where he wants to send the ball to. I mean, his capability of sending the ball to every corner that he wants to, he does it. In every league, in every, it wasn't happening in England, it's happening in Germany right now. He's slow, and still he knows how to protect the ball and just place it wherever he wants to. I'm amazed by that, by that kind of striker. Yeah. And Leva is kind of similar to him, but not as perfect with the finishing like Harry Kane.
Yeah. And John, from you as a Scot, are you singing Harry's praises?
It hurts me to say, but yes, I am. He's absolutely a phenomenal player. He can header, he can score, good on both feet, he can hold up the ball, but he can also pass the ball. And when he passes the ball, he's got movement, he knows where to go to turn the man, get in the box for the pass back. He's just really, really good, phenomenal. That's why he's worth so much money. That's why he's the record goal scorer. That's why he's gone to Bayern Munich and winning trophies for fun. The guy is really, really good. And as a Scot, to say that, that's quite hard.
No, I mean, he's a wonderful player. I don't think he's, people think he's slow. I don't think he's slow at all, I must admit. But guys, it would be remiss of me before we close off the show is, Art, who is your, first of all, I don't think you and I have been on a show done the World Cup series, so we need to give who we think is going to win the World Cup and who you think will be the Golden Boot winner.
All right. So first of all, I'm not gonna be I'm gonna be boring here. For me, it's like 2 teams for right now. It's Portugal and France. That's the teams that I think has the most chances. And regarding the goal, okay. And I'm gonna mention one team that I'm expecting to go far and play nicely. Japan. This is the team that I don't think like everybody's cheering for them, but I am kind of. I watch their games and it's just fun to watch. And if it comes to Golden Boot, I'm gonna go with the players from South America. Not sure which country, but I'm gonna go from there. I mean, they're playing quick, and there are goal scoring machines over there.
Yeah. Okay. So,
but that's not gonna be. I'm just gonna say the last word, the last sentence. It's not gonna be huge like everybody knows the name. It's gonna be somebody surprising.
Okay. John, I know you've been on the show. You've given your tip for the winners, but Golden Boot, who do you fancy to take the Golden Boot?
I've just got to go with Mbappé. I just think that power, that pace, he's something to prove. You know, obviously he's had not a great time at Real Madrid, a good time, but you know they're not winning like Barcelona are winning. So I think Mbappé, especially he's moved from PSG to Real Madrid, and then PSG just happened to win a couple of Champions Leagues. Put them in their back pocket. So I think he's got something to prove. So I think it'll be him.
Interesting. Well, I will certainly think that, and I'm wearing a orange top tonight, a wonderful thing from Crete. I think the Netherlands will win. I was watching CNN. They had an economist on who's predicted the last 3 winners of the World Cup, and he has predicted a Portugal-Netherlands final with Netherlands winning. So you never know. We will make John happy if that happens. And in terms of Golden Boot, I think it's hard to see past the complete striker that Harry Kane is. The fact that he takes the penalties, England have an exceptionally strong team as well. It may not come home, as they say, but I think he may be the Golden Boot winner come the end. But guys, that's been a wonderful show. I love talking about goal scorers. I really do. Let's be honest, that's what makes the game exciting. So to everybody, this has been the show about the strikers, from Shearer to the false 9 to Haaland. The debate is live. The World Cup will settle it. But before you go, please follow us on Instagram at Foot in Review or at TikTok at Foot in Review Podcast. A 5-star review. The guys have been wonderful. They deserve a 5-star for this. So please, when it's safe to do so, stop and give us a 5-star review. It really, really is important. It takes a few seconds and it means a lot to us. If you could share this episode with someone who doesn't listen to us, we'd love that as well. People who love the World Cup, you can hear the passion in our voice about it. And to our Patreon supporters as well, thank you so much for being that. And if you want to join, check us out at patreon.com/footreview. As I say, we've got the Predictor game. That's wonderful. And the sweep, it's free to enter. These are absolutely amazing things to do. So please come and join us. Next show is going to be about the best 11 players who will not be at the World Cup. Unfortunately, one of them may be Lewandowski. I'm trying not to insult my good friend Art. Whether it be injuries, failed qualifications, or just that snub from the manager, the guys are going to discuss it. The players who deserve to be there, guys, we'll see you then. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.